R7 League Review Programme for the 2017-18 season for the Cheshire Football League. Live with you this evening from a very sunny Altinkum in Turkey. I'm bringing you the update, the review of the last 7 days football. So let's just take it back a little bit further than the 7 days, because our season started, of course, on the 5th of August with our Memorial Cup. That was played between our double winners, that's Whaley Bridge, against our double runners-up, Poynton. And I think really Whaley sounded a big notice, served a big notice of their intent for the season, running out 5-0 winners. Not want to put a dampener on it, but Knutsford ran out 6-0 winners against Whaley last season and didn't win anything. So is that a good or a bad thing that Whaley have won 5-0? We'll have to wait and see. But let's get into the real matches that have been played in the league since then. So on the 8th of August we had Altrincham 1, Linotype 0. That's a big shock really in terms of Linotype, always been up there challenging for the title. First game under John Rand, and yet Altrincham ran away with the win on 1 goal from Dembele. Is he worth 100 million? That's a question for Chris Rowley. The second game to bring you is Congleton 4, Rudheath 0. Rudheath sort of were on the cusp of relegation, apart from that 16-0 win on the last day of the season back in May, and they've not started off in the best of form. Congleton running out 4-0 winners, 2 goals for Aaron Cook and 2 goals for Tom Joseph there. Maybe the game of the day on that opening week of the season, midweek of the season, Malpas 4, Crewe FC 5. It was 3-2 at half-time to Malpas. Dickin, Hales, Oliver Hales that is, Hughes and Lee Parry. And Hughes actually got a red card. In fact, Malpas went down to 9 men because Lloyd saw red as well. The interesting thing here is Crewe running out with 5 goals, Gator, O'Connor, and 3 goals straight off for Nathan Southern. Now Nathan Southern must be a good shout for our Cheshire Interleague side. We've got the National Cup coming up against the Chester and Wirral District League in October, and 3 goals straight from the off from the first game there for Nathan Southern. Eagle 2, Billinge 1. We had goals from Briscoe and Burtham for Eagle and Cottington for Billinge. Knutsford getting off on the right foot this season. A goal for Mackenzie in the 81st minute. Warrington, New Boys Warrington Town Reserves equalising in the 89th minute, only to have that precious point snatched away from them by Warburton in the 90th minute. Knutsford running out 2-1 winners against Warrington Town there. Poynton, after their defeat in the Memorial Cup at home against Wythenshawe Town, it was a 2-2 draw. Simpson and Toole for Poynton, Power and Grandison for Wythenshawe Town. Rylands 4, Greenhalls 0. That's a local derby there in Warrington. Rylands running out 4-0 winners, and that was a good win for Rylands as well. They were lower down the table last season as well, but started strongly. Whaley Bridge against Denton, another local derby with Kelly scoring the only goal of the game to give Whaley the 3 points there. And we'll move straight into the games in the Premier Division from Saturday, the 12th of August, carrying our Premier League review. New Boys Ashton Town, relegated from the North West Counties, started off with a home fixture against Congleton and ran out with a very impressive 5-0 win. Is that a statement of intent from them too? Billinge 2, Lino 2. So Billinge bouncing back from that 2-1 defeat to Eagle to take a point at Linotype. Linotype's goal scorers Herbert and Woodhead. Denton building on that midweek. Hoping to improve on last season's 3rd place, running out 4-0 winners against Warrington Town Reserves. Salmon with 2 goals, Yarwood and Kennedy with the goals there. Greenhalls against Crewe was a 2-2 draw. Horner and Rowland for Greenhalls, and 2 more goals for Nathan Southern. Jimmy Bush, are you watching this? 5 goals in 2 matches for Nathan Southern, straight from the off. I'd go and have a look at him if I were you. Knutsford may be in the result of the day on Saturday. Knutsford 6, Altrincham 0. Altrincham with that surprise win against Linotype in midweek. Knutsford with goals from Warburton, 2 from Brooks and 3 from Owens, running out comfortable winners at Manchester Road. A shock maybe here. Eagle away at Poynton, winning 5-1. Kirby with a goal for Poynton, and Boardman, Briscoe, Fitzpatrick and Bertham with another 2 to add to his 1 from midweek, taking his tally to 3. Saw them take all 3 points and taking them to 6 points so far. Rylands, another very impressive performance, building on that 4-0 win in midweek with 6 goals unreplied against Rudheath Social. Daniels, Keddy, Staniszewski and Rigby with 3. Wythenshawe Town, after that draw 2-2 with Poynton in the midweek, they had a 4-1 victory at home over Malpass. Goals from Rhodes, Granderson again, and Ashley Leather taking 2 goals there against Malpass's 1 from Alex Hughes. And welcome back into League One we go with our midweek results from League One. Cheadle Town Reserves 1, Mersey Valley 3. Ferguson, Watson and Baldwin Willis with the 3 goals for Mersey Valley. Sam Mitten with a red after only 11 minutes on the pitch. So a good win for Mersey Valley, tainted by a red card on the opening day. A good win for Diva Athletic in their first season in League One. Goals from Forbes there against FC St Helens, away at FC St Helens. Horton with a goal for FC St Helens. Middlewich against Lostock, a very mid-Cheshire local derby. Adamchuk with a goal for Middlewich Town, and Baker with the goal for Lostock Grayland. The game of that midweek opening fixtures in League One has to be the Edgerton AFC Macclesfield game. Edgerton screamed into a 6-0 lead at half-time against AFC Macclesfield, only for the second half to see it finish up 7-5. Goals for Edgerton from Holness, Umbo, Ofori and 2 for Knight, as well as Harper scoring 2 goals and then getting sent off, gave Edgerton their 7 goals. AFC Macclesfield coming back from 6-0 at half-time with goals from Bannister, Hunter, Jackson and 2 for Disney. The last game in that midweek section of League One games, Goulburn 3, Dayton 4, another local derby and another goal fest. Goals by Taffy and Walker for Goulburn, 2 for Taffy there, and 4 for Dayton, Challoner, Davis, Lawler and McLaughlin seeing those goals there. Into the Saturday fixtures in League One, and that saw AFC Macclesfield taking on Mersey Valley. Mersey Valley fresh from that good opening victory, and it saw them with another 3 points. They beat AFC Macclesfield, last season's title challengers, at 1 point, running out 4-1 winners. Jackson with a goal for AFC Macclesfield, DePisa, Ferguson and Baldwin Willis again with the 4 goals for Mersey Valley. Cheadle Town's season hasn't started off on the best of footings. Middlewich beat them 4-0 at Park Road. Gorton, Petrie, Smith and Wakefield scoring the goals for Middlewich there. Edgerton, well, only their managers can explain this. 7-5 winners in midweek, but losing 2-1 to Goulburn, who lost 4-3 to Dayton in the midweek. Goals for Edgerton was from Thorne and 2 goals for Matty Hughes. Welcome back, Matty, at Goulburn to give Goulburn the 2-1 win away at Edgerton. Lostock, after that local derby draw midweek, took on Garswood in their first game of the season. Hurd, Jones and Short all scored for Lostock, with Keddy and Atkins getting the goals back for Garswood United. Pilkington opened their accounts with a good 3-1 win against Halebank. Boylan, Norris and Sefton with the goals there, and I didn't have a goal scorer down for Halebank as yet. Styles' first season in League One, following their relegation from the Premier Division, saw them win 2-0 against FC St Helens. Hayden and Lovett scored there for FC St Helens. Sorry, for Style against FC St Helens. And Windle 2, Dayton 3. Mines and Trust with the goals for Windle, and Dayton with another good win, another high-scoring win for them. Goals from Davis, Sullivan and Jennings saw them run out 3-2 winners. Into League 2 from our opening midweek fixtures. Broadheath 2, Unicorn 1 in that local derby in the Altrincham area, in the Altrincham area of Manchester. Ford Motors 3, Vulcan 2, Vulcan's first game in the Cheshire League. Goals for Ford from Anderson, Smith and Crook, with Carey and Williams in reply for Vulcan. Grappenall's first game in League 2 saw them run out 3-0 winners against Winstanley Warriors. Kubemba with 2 goals and Bruce with the other saw them take a 3-0 win. Again, another game of the day in the League 2. Moore United 5, Blacon Youth in their first game in the Cheshire League 5 also. Arnold, Holt, McGrath and Chambers with 2. In fact, his winner in the 94th minute, his equaliser in the 94th minute saw him snatch a point from Blacon when they looked, or they thought they must have been getting the 3 points. The goals for Blacon: Davis, Murray, Raho and Bennion with 2 goals there. Looking at the More United information as well, Rudge got sent off for 2 yellow cards, so that last minute, last gassed equaliser despite only having 10 men on the field of play. The game, another game, not quite as high scoring, only 8 goals in this one. Orford 8, St Helens Town Reserves 0, and that's a good morning, early morning wake-up call for St Helens Town, having recently joined the league. Orford with 8 goals, McLaughlin, Moran, Livesey and Daniel Wilcox with 4 goals there. The other goal scorer was missed off the stats. I'm sure the person that scored it will be on the secretary's back to get that added in. Tarpley 2, Cuddington 4, another local derby. All these midweek local derbies early on in the season. Bale with 2 for Tarpley, Victoria, and the 4 for Cuddington. Harvey, Mainwaring, and 2 goals for Lansley. And the first actual league game that was played in the Cheshire League this season, Monday the 7th of August, saw Main Road Reserves take on Buxton Reserves, another new joiner to the league, with Buxton winning their first game 3-1. Clooney, not George, with the goal for Main Road Reserves, and Miller, Ramwell and Donaldson with the goals for Buxton Reserves. Into their weekend games, Broadheath 4, Orford 3. So Broadheath with that following on from the win against Unicorn on the first midweek, following up with another 3 points and a 4-3 win over Orford, who just scored 8. But Bacon, Hutchings and Neary with the goals for Orford there. Cuddington, again, another good start for them. 4-2 against Tarpley midweek. 7-1 against hapless St Helens Town Reserves. Goals for Harwood, Lansley with 2, Lumsden with 2 and Hughes with 2. And again, some strikers for Jimmy Bush to go and have a look at ahead of that National Cup first round game. Ford Motors with another good win in their second game. Ford Motors 4, Moore United 0. No late dramatic goals from Moore this time. Conlon, Durkin and Anderson with 2 for Ford Motors, sealing the 3 points and taking them to 6 out of 6. Grappenall, following on from that win, took on Buxton Town Reserves and they lost 3-0 at home. Goals from Donaldson, Needham and Ramwell again for Buxton, giving them another 3 goals and another 3 points. Sandbach United against Vulcan, 3-2 for Sandbach United Reserves. Bostock, Cox and Critchley with Ward and Williams in reply for Vulcan. And last but not least, Unicorn quickly bouncing back from that derby defeat to Broadheath midweek with a 5-0 win over Winstanley Warriors. Into the reserve division last but not least, and that midweek Thursday the 10th of August programme. Billinge 1, Garswood 3, the goal for Billinge from Howard, and goals for Garswood United from Horton and 2 for Atkins. Maybe another high-scoring midweek game. Dayton Reserves 0, Knutsford 8, 7. 1 goal for Schofield, and then Harrison West and Evans each with a brace each to give Knutsford that 7-0 away win. Denton Town against Style, a local-ish derby, 3-3 in that opening midweek game. Moran and 2 goals for Wales, and Cooper Glass and Norton with the goals for Style there. Eagle against Vulcan, another local derby midweek. Eagle 1, Vulcan 2, a great 3 points for new side Vulcan Reserves in the reserve division. Hart and Vander Hoyk with the goals for Vulcan there. FC St Helens 3, Goulburn Sports 2. Dearden, Greenway and Horton with the goals for FC St Helens, and Atherton and Walker with the goals for Goulburn Sports. Linotype Cheadle Nomads with a great local derby win over Poynton, 6-1. Halliser, Longworth, Samuel and 3 goals for Hughes in their 6 goals, and Piercy with the goal back in reply for Poynton. Middlewich Town 2, Moore United 3, Brain with 2 goals for Middlewich, and Norris with a goal for Moore. I've only got the 1 goal scorer for Moore, but again I'm sure somebody will be in the area of Cheshire to get those goals added to full time. Orford 0, Greenhalls, Padgate St Oswald Reserves 2. That's the opening game of the season, opening game in the Cheshire League for Orford, whose reserve side joined the season. Deakin and Delaney with the goals for Greenhalls there. And finally, into the final game in that midweek slot, Rylands 2, Pilkington 0. Goals from Sisson and Staniszewski saw Rylands take the 3 points in that opening fixture there. Into the Saturday fixtures, and we have Dayton 0, Moore United 3. Eagle 3, Denton 3 with goals from Hustler, and another 2 goals from Wales. Must surely be knocking on the first team door, and another player for Jimmy Bush to have a look at. Doesn't matter what division you're playing, if you're good enough, you'll get selected. FC St Helens against Orford, it was a 2-2 draw, and Goulburn succumbed to another stunning Knutsford performance. It was 3-1 to Knutsford away from home there. 1 goal for Harrison and 2 goals for Williams in that 3-1 win away to Goulburn Sports. Linotype 3, Billinge 4. Hallister, Samuel and Dyer with the goals for Linotype. I haven't got the goals yet though for Billinge. I'm sure again somebody be in Les's ear to get those added to full time. Middlewich 3, Vulcan 1. Goral, Can and Martin were the goals for Middlewich as they secured the 3 points, with Smith in reply for Vulcan there. And Pilks 4, Style 3. Connolly with one of the goals for Pilkingtons. I've not got the others yet. And Styles' goals were from Broome, Grindle, Pinder, and with Goodall seeing red. Thank you for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed the LR7, our first LR7 show, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday evening.